Hello everyone and welcome back to Dark Souls 3 PvP. So today, like I said last time, we are going to be using the Drang, Twinspears, and the Black Knight Sword. So the Black Knight Sword, it's got the skill Perseverance. With that you can actually poise through attacks and get poise backstabs. So that will be something I'll be attempting to learn how to do. And this has the charge skill, which is nothing terribly special, but the fact that there are two of them, that does make it very, very unique, so we will be messing around with that. So, that's the plan, that's the gist of it. And he's using Warden Twin Blades, so this will be a bloody mess. Shocking. Oh, hello, Newt Newt. Yeah, about that. Sorry, I just had to sit down for a minute and think what could have possibly caused that. I was checking to see if anything on my end was going wrong. I did a quick little speed test on my phone. But it says my speeds are looking good, so I canceled the speed test, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. That's not a precursor of things to come, I'm sure. That was only slightly terrifying, and I'm surprised how much damage I did right off the bat. So, just looking around at this moveset, it's actually pretty cool. I like how its R2 goes from a slash into a thrust. I'm wondering how damaging that thrust is. So we've got Acestus, we've got the longsword. Good, two-hand that longsword for me. Should have just gone for the trade. Ooh, yeah. Straight into that stab. Yes. That felt good. For me. Straight into the stab. I knew he would come in on it. It was a good bait, and that's what that attack is really going to excel at doing. That attack, I mean, just... who would expect that to be a stab? Covers distance so well. I mean, yes, if you charge it, it's very telegraphed, but if you actually just go straight into it, you're clear. You are perfectly clear. So damn clear. You're scotch. Tape. Well, that works. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Good to know that can be parried so easily. Literally just block the first and then set up parry. You'll get hit once by one of them, but it's a setup parry for the second. So, sure. So let's bring in the Moonlight Knight wearing Havel's armor and see what he's got for us. Not really the best Moonlight Knight that I know. You know, wearing Havel's armor, I mean, come on now. That's not very Vito-ish, I suppose you could say. It's not proper. It's just not right, in all honesty. Not even using a Moonlight Greatsword. And buffing a rapier. Oh, did I mention that this would make things bounce off me? Except I'm too slow to actually hit him after the fact, and that really sucks because he's using a rapier. Yeah, because that is a thing. Light weapons bounce off of you, it's just that you can't punish it because they're so fast and their recovery frames are so fast that there's nothing you can do. Isn't that great? Doesn't it make that fact that they bounce off of you so worthwhile? I mean, yes, it keeps them from being able to R1 spam you, but you can't punish it because they bounced off of you, and before you can even attack, there's just nothing you can do. And in all honesty, that makes me very sad. The recovery frames on rapiers are just too good. A longsword, I think you can barely punish with it, barely, but a rapier of any kind, you're out of luck. And it's kind of pointless. I knew that was a thing, I wanted to demo it and hope that it had been adjusted because there was a patch the other day and I haven't tested it since that patch. I could have assumed that it hadn't been changed, but you know, it's what we do. We test things. We test things and we learn how things work. Aww. Come on, Shiro. No, you're not gonna roll into that? Me. Good try with the parry. It's all he wanted the whole fight. You really could tell by the way he was being so defensive. He was trying to annoy me with pyromancy until I did a running attack in and did something predictable. And in a way, what I did at the end was extremely predictable. Fortunately, my timing was a little better than his. That's really the only reason that that fight ended in my favor. Because he probably would have used something along the line that would have, you know, maybe grabbed my face, exploded it, and left me scorched. Scorched, burned, and otherwise very displeased with myself. Alright, Sugar Princess. What do you have for me? Cestus again, no shock there. That looked really funky when you walked in front of the fog wall. Yeah, that skill can get parried, by the way. And that is what that's for. I really need to work on my timing with it, but perseverance, yeah, that's what that's for. Lets you poise through things like there is no tomorrow. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. Like, I like that. I like that a lot. I can see why it's one of the more rare skills. Like, and by rare skills, I mean one that actually can be spread across multiple weapon classes and whatnot, and that's not unique to a singular weapon. You know what I mean? Sento. Not quite as good as Sendo, but... I'll R1 spam some. No, you're not gonna come in on me on that. Yay, distancing. In a way, I like doing these style of more focused PvP videos more than the ones where I would switch up my weapons randomly, just because I can really warm up with a particular weapon and not lose constantly because I'm not warmed up with said particular weapon. I feel like I'm a little more on board with the game. I feel like I'm more prepared for what people have to throw at me and how to punish it. And because of that, well, I'm more successful overall. I do like the design of this sword, I really do. My one issue with it, I mean, aside from the length, it's not entirely unrealistic. Its width isn't entirely unrealistic. In fact, it's honestly well designed. And that's one thing that's true about most Dark Souls weapons. Their thickness, their width, their length, that's usually all typically pretty decent for a lot of weapons. For some, of course, there are just completely out there ridiculous ones like Yorm's Great Machete, Smo's Hammer. You get the idea. I am surprised. Ah. I deserve that. I expected him to be a little less centered on me when I tried to roll. I tried to roll off to his left and instead I ran straight into his feet. That was very horribly done on my part. Like, bad out of 10 right there. And when he was one-handing it for so long, I really just should have gone for a sight parry. Because you can actually do that against that weapon relatively easily. But I didn't think. So, shame on me. These things happen. I was saying something prior to losing that fight horribly. I don't remember what it was. Ah, yes, weapon design. The one thing I don't like about this weapon, and there's a lot of weapons that do this in fantasy-style games, the hilt, the guard. The hilt itself, not terrible. The guard, though, it's backwards of how it should be. Glancing blows off of it would go down into your arm or your leg as opposed to being caught and then possibly redirected. So, you know, that was horribly well done. Horribly well done, yes. I can English. Oh, come on, really? He's just gonna stand there? I should have charged. I mean, I'm not shocked that he's gonna just go for parries exclusively considering what he's using. But in all honesty, I kind of expected him to two-hand it and go for the 4-hit combo. That weapon does have a guaranteed 4-hit combo, for the record. If you get the R1, you can go into an L2 and then an R2. Exactly the same combo as the thingamajig, but different. Spiked mace, but different weapon. But literally the exact same combo. So, that's something else that does need to get nerfed by Bamco and FromSoft. I do like how you can aim plunge attacks as you fall, though, even with such short distance. Now that my little session of losing is over, though, I'd like to turn that around and end on a win for this weapon. I wish that I didn't have everything at +4 and that everything was +5. That would be nice. But no. Someone somewhere along the way decided, oh yes, let's only allow them to have 8 Titanite slabs per playthrough. It's a genius idea. Don't know who thought that would be a genius idea. It's a horrible idea. Horribly, horribly well planned. Because, you know, horribly and well planned belong in the same sentence. That's twice I've done it in this video. Oh, the ting! I got the ting! So close, but so far with the parry. Leaving me with the ting. The dreaded ting. It's the last thing that I want. It was a good fight. I think I really could have done a lot better in that, but it was still a good fight. You don't see the Claymore very often in PvP yet. It's honestly kind of sad how uncommon great swords are. Like, the Claymore is a good weapon. Let's bring in Old King Doran, who is not doing a cosplay and is disappointing me, rightly so. He needs to be wearing Gundir's armor. Because that reminds me of Doran. More so than anything else. And yet he is doing a full cosplay of something different. You disappoint me, sir. You disappoint. Okay. It'll just cue my other R1. That's cool. Ah, yes. What a lovely little losing streak we're on now. I just wanted to end on a one good singular fight with this weapon, but I guess that's just not going to happen. We'll switch over now. That's fine. Ah, who am I kidding? We're going to make it. We're going to get it one more try. Get it one more try. We're going to give it one more try. Again, I can English, I swear. The Nameless Usurper. So not only is there a Nameless King, but now there's a Nameless Usurper. Interesting. Why did I wave at no one? Genius. So after we use the Drang Twinspears, I think next episode following this one, I'm in the mood for something a little larger. So I'm thinking we're either going to go with the Gargoyle Flamehammer or the Pickaxe. Most likely the Flamehammer, because I actually haven't used that very much yet. And in tandem with that, we will focus on a Katana. We'll focus on the Uchi. Hi friend, thanks for being patient with me. Is that a partisan you're using? That's most certainly a partisan. Good spin sweep. Good spin sweep. Ooh, yep. Ooh, and the ting again. The losing streak continues, but that was excellent use of the partisan. I also like how he's got a more classical knight look to him. That said, someone left a comment on my partisan video. He leaves comments like this regularly, but noting the historical, you know, the historical, whatever the word I'm looking for, of the partisan, and how it was not very successful in what it was created to do. And with gunpowder and everything being so prevalent around the time of the partisan's creation, how it was quickly outclassed and is then pretty much only set as a ceremonial piece, interestingly enough. So if you ever see a more ceremonial style of spear, it's typically a partisan. The more you know. So let's switch over to this. I'm happy to see someone actually using the partisan. Ironically, today is in fact the day that I uploaded that video, so coincidence? I think not, but more than likely it actually was. Even still though, it was nice to see it being used and being used well. Had he the stamina for it with one of his R2s that he had, the one that was more charged, are you gonna come fight me? Hello? Come on and fight. Oh boy, a great shield is in your offhand. I didn't see that. What sword is that? You should have gone for a backstab, sir. I was wide open and you went for an R2 instead. What gave you that idea? Seriously, what made him think that going for an R2 when he could have just walked around for a backstab was a good idea? Like, that would have done so much to turn the fight in his favor. It was a horrible decision on my part, too. I saw him turtling, so I assumed that I'd be able to see him drop his guard to go for the backstab. I don't even know if that's a thing you can do, in all honesty, but I assumed that's what would happen. And he didn't. He just didn't. I don't know why, but he just didn't. Oh, I think I fought you before. Dark Sword. Evelyn. Yes. Flop. Oh yeah, you're the guy who I fought that was all super spammy. I've learned. So yeah, Twinspears. Not terribly difficult to use, to say the least. I am curious about the charge. Is it a double spear charge? Because that would look kind of cool, kind of quirky, a little bit odd, a little bit strange, just a wee bit. But we'll find out in this fight. Hopefully, I can set that up. I'd like to. That would be a nice thing. I'll have to work on it. I'll have to see what I can do. Really, I wish I could do invasions more in this game. I hate the fact that the souls are dropped where you die in the other person's world, as opposed to where you invade in your own. And that causes problems when you're trying to hoard souls. It just doesn't work. Hello, friend. Come on down. I ran straight into that because I thought he was doing a regular R1 and not an R2. Yep. My own fault right there. I assumed with his affinity for R1s, judging by the S-stock and all, and the fact that he'd never done an R2 to that point, my own fault for assuming. You know what they say about assuming? You shouldn't do it. It's a bad thing. It never ends well. Case and point. Or is it case in point? Gotta love when people say things like that. Expressions, common expressions. Because in a lot of cases, people say them wrong. At least people that I know. Becca, specifically. Pretty much every single expression that's relatively common, I've had to correct her on at some point in time or another, because she's always said it stupidly wrong. And, you know, it's not a bad thing. Oh, yes. Get your little buff. It's a double charge. And now we know. That was a helmet that I haven't seen before. That was the Flame Witch one. The one the guys in this area that cast the pyromancies use. That's a nice looking armor set, to be honest. I haven't seen it on a player yet, but that's a very nice looking armor set. Like, I've never seen it on a player, like, as I'm playing. I've seen pictures of it on players, and it looks good. In fact, I was actually considering telling Mayhem about it. Mayhem is in Dark Project Mayhem. Because when Dark Souls 2 came around, the reason that he took such an affinity to the Moonlight Butterfly set, that's my fault. I will take the blame for that, because we, of course, being in the US, we as in me, FPS Snake, Mr. Manpants, being in the US and Mayhem not being in the US, we got the game early and we got a copy of the guide and everything was all peachy. Wanna go for that charge again? Ooh, good use of that attack. Very good use. Nice magic pixel, too. I like the Fashion Souls also. That's not the full set, that's only part of the set. It looks good. That looks good. I'm not a fan of very many helmets in this game, but that one actually is pretty spiffy. A little too tall for my taste, but pretty spiffy. That was a good fight. I really liked that. Very well done on both sides, if I do say so myself. I feel like I did decent, and he did very well. I mean, he won, clearly. But it wasn't spammy, and it was interesting. Mother of Dragons. Khaleesi. I feel the need to do something, and I can't not do it. I can't not do this. I have to do it, guys. I can't not do this. Just because of the name. Mother of Dragons. Rude. Okay. Daenerys is a very rude person. She doesn't appreciate what I did for her. How unfortunate. How mean. How inconsiderate. Khaleesi. What will we do with you? What will we do with you? And we'll just throw it back in the Great Grass Sea, I suppose. What's the worst that could happen, right? Alright, well, now that that little bit of fun is over, let's have one more actual serious fight and go from there. I almost said, thinking, where are my souls? I almost said, where are my echoes? Bloodborne out of 10. Also, why am I not wearing a Leo ring for this? Like, for real. Spear using and not using a Leo ring? Oh boy, Havels. Barbed sword, huh? bleed and poison on it. Interesting. Must be a luck build. That said, bleed and poison on the barbed sword, which means the barbed sword can be infused, which means its already decent bleed buildup can actually be increased. That is dangerous. We'll get one more fight and we'll call it there, I think. That sounds like a plan to me. Because I'm actually getting a little bit hungry. I want to eat some food. Gotta get a snack of some kind or another. I wonder what we even have at the moment. Like, we're actually kind of starting to run low on food in a way. Just because we're going back to New York for the weekend. And there's no real point in buying stuff if we're not here to eat it, you know? Lucky strikes. Oh boy. Warden Twin Blades. I wanted a rolling attack, not a kick, but thanks, game. And I wanted to roll forward instead of run forward. Again, thanks, game. I don't know why it ignored me. That's fine. These things happen. Either way, though, guys, we're going to end things on that note. Not the best note to end on, but hey, it is what it is. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you all next time.